everyone, welcome back. This video series is all about how to use a special writing strategy that will help you answer questions about something you have read, the race strategy. Remember last time we looked at the story called Tag at the Park, and we wanted to be sure that we had the R part, the A part, the C part, and also the E part, which stands for explain. Before we do the same thing with another piece of text, I wanted to show you some different ways that we can start our sentences when we explain. Just like we had those sentence starters for the C part that came from the text, well, here are some ways that we can start our explanation sentences. This shows, this means, or I know. Remember, it's an idea from our own minds. Last time for our story, we said, I know that it is good to solve problems because, and we told why. So if you start by saying this shows, this means, or I know, then it tells the reader that you are giving an explanation. Okay, now let's take a look at another piece of text that we've already seen called No Sunburn. Remember about the elephants and how they avoid sunburn? I'm not going to reread the story, but let's review the question and answer that we saw last time. How are elephants clever animals? Elephants are clever animals because they know how to avoid getting a sunburn. The author says that elephants throw mud and sand on themselves to block the sun from their skin. They also stand over their young to make shade for them. And here you can see the restated question words underlined in green, the answer in pink, and the text evidence underlined in blue. And those are also checked off at the bottom. And now we also have the Eposter for explain. So, what is a thought that I have about animals being clever? What can I say about an elephant being able to do those kinds of things? Well, I know that people have come up with ways to avoid sunburn, but that is really smart for an animal to do that without being taught how. So for the E part, for explain, I can write something just like that. This shows elephants are clever because they have good ideas to do something that is not easy, just like people do. That is an idea or a thought of mine that I have about an elephant doing something clever. And see what color we underline that part? Orange, like the poster. And we can check off the E checkbox at the bottom. Did you notice how we started that sentence? This shows, just like one of the ideas on our sentence starter poster. And now it's time for What's Wrong? It is the same story and question, but see if you can figure out what is wrong with this. It says, how are elephants clever animals? Elephants are clever animals. The author says that elephants throw mud and sand on themselves to block the sun from their skin. They also stand over their young to make shade for them. This shows that elephants can throw mud and sand on themselves and can shade their babies. Whisper what you think is wrong with this. Take a look at it and what is wrong with this. Did it restate the question? Let's see, how did it start? Elephants are clever animals. So whisper yes or no, does that restate the question? Yes, it does. Does it answer the question? Let's see, it says elephants are clever animals. No, it doesn't. It doesn't tell what makes them clever. So that's one thing wrong. Does it cite text evidence to prove how elephants avoid a sunburn? Look back and see if it tells something from the story that proves that elephants know how to avoid sunburn, and whisper yes or no. Yes, it told what elephants do to avoid sunburn, with the mud and the sand and shading their babies, all very clever things, proving that they're clever. And does it explain? Let's see, it says, this shows that elephants can throw mud and sand on themselves and can shade their babies. So whisper yes or no. Does that explain some ideas about the text evidence or that big idea answer of what elephants do to avoid sunburn? No, it doesn't. It doesn't tell anything new. It mainly just repeats the text evidence. So here you can see the X's for what is wrong. So we want to be sure we don't simply repeat what we've already written, but we add some sort of explanation about what we think about what we've already written. Okay, everyone, that's all I have for us today. Next time will be our last lesson, where I will just review all that we've learned. But before you see that, you're going to practice reading a piece of text and answering a question using the R, A, C, and E. And I have 2 stories for you, and their titles are Be a Friend and Emperor Penguin Fathers. So after you read the text and answer the question, then you're going to underline the parts and then check off those boxes at the bottom. And your teacher will assign these either online digitally or on paper, and then he or she will look over your work. Okay, we'll see you later, everybody.